Regardless of our current swim ability, I think it's fair to say that we all want to swim fast. I mean, that's entirely natural.
Yeah, and today we're at Playtest Resort in Fuerteventura, and we have 3 rather simple ways in which you can improve your swim speed. Stroke rate can have a really big impact on our speed. You can calculate and measure your own stroke rate by counting the total number of strokes completed in a minute. The higher that number, the higher your stroke rate. Now, stroke rate is a really important metric to keep a track of because not only will it affect your speed, but also your rhythm and your efficiency as a swimmer. If you have too slow a stroke rate, it could be a sign that you're overreaching and gliding too much in your stroke. That will result in a loss of purchase on the water and a loss of momentum. Equally, if your stroke rate is too fast, that could be a sign that your hand or your arm is slipping through the water and also not getting that purchase on the water and that valuable propulsion. Now, finding the optimal stroke rate for yourself is all about finding a balance between stroke rate and distance per stroke. And this will vary from swimmer to swimmer and obviously depending on the distance that you're targeting. To give you a bit of an idea and an example here, in the 2012 Olympic Games, the lead male group had an average stroke rate of between 42 to 48 cycles per minute. The lead female group 38 to 44. And then in the 2015 Ironman World Championships, so a slightly longer distance event here, we had an average stroke rate of between 42 to 45 cycles per minute. Now, this isn't to say that you should suddenly be trying to swim with a stroke rate of over 40 cycles per minute, but it just gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're striving for here. Now, naturally, as we do increase our stroke rate, a lot of us find that we start to increase our leg kick too. But trying to swim a long distance event with a 6-beat leg kick is a pretty wild idea. It's going to be unsustainable, and it's a pretty unique skill being able to increase your leg kick and keeping the legs relaxed, but it is a skill we can practice. Well, something I used to like to do to help this was popping a pool buoy in or just using a band, or both if you like, pushing off of the wall and sprinting for 10 to 15 meters and really spinning the arms over. Now, granted, it didn't always look the prettiest, but the idea was to almost disconnect the arms and the legs. So I wasn't relying on the leg kick to increase my stroke rate and vice versa. Now, you can implement this into your own training by doing the same. Do a few of these short efforts off the wall and then go into 100 to 200 meters of normal swimming, bringing your leg kick in now, but trying to keep that arm rate fairly high. And to help you with this, a lot of sports watches these days will also track your stroke rate.
We've been focusing on our arms until now, but we don't want to neglect our legs, as propulsion can still come from this phase of the stroke, even if you are swimming an open water long distance event or a triathlon. Now, if you've already worked on stroke rate, you'll know how hard it is to improve the speed at which your arms move around, much more so than your legs, as one whole arm movement, say this, is going to take much longer than this. So if you want to quickly find some speed, it's a good idea to work on your kick. In triathlon, having a strong kick is going to give you the edge at the start of a race, but beyond that, if you've got to a stage where your kick is nice and efficient, it's actually going to add to your propulsion for very little effort, as well as helping your legs and hips find that correct body position. So it's time to move away from thinking that you don't need your legs when swimming. If nothing else, it adds to the balance of your stroke. So it's time to start incorporating some kick work into your training. If, like many, you struggle with the kick, it could be one of 2 reasons, either having stiff ankles or incorrect technique. You do sometimes see people kicking from the knee as opposed to the hip. So ideally, the kick needs to come from the hip with a very slight flex of the knee, and then the final phase is a flick off the toe. And that final phase you might struggle with if you do have really tight ankles. And a great way to work on your ankles is pop some fins on, as this will work as obviously a bit of resistance, so you get some training from it, but it also helps to increase that range that you have at your ankle. So for this session, you can actually do some vertical kick in the deep end, or you can have a kickboard and then kick off the wall and go as hard as you can for 10 meters, kick out for the rest of the length, nice and easy. Take plenty of rest and repeat it a handful of times.
Our final tip is a fairly obvious one, and this is to include some speed workouts within your training. It's obvious, but it needs some explaining.
Yes, and it can be tempting to, if you're trying to achieve something, to do it all of the time. But if you're putting a lot of speed work into every single session, you'll just find that you plateau out and you're no longer actually able to get that top end quality and speed.
So this calls for a structured training approach. We want to target one swim per week where the focus is to swim fast. It doesn't mean swimming fast from start to end of the session, but picking out and doing some fast intervals within that with some good recovery. An example session that I've always enjoyed after a good warm-up is 12 lots of 25 meters steady swimming, but every fourth 25 meter rep as maximal effort, taking 30 seconds recovery. Then into 9 lots of 25 meters steady swimming, but every third max, taking 25 seconds recovery. 6 lots of 25 meters steady swimming, but every second rep max, taking 20 seconds recovery. And then finally, 3 lots of 25 meters, all max, taking 15 seconds recovery.
The purpose of this session is finding that top end speed and just teaching your body to get used to moving fast and becoming efficient at it.
Yeah, and by combining these 3 tips today, we are confident that if you're including them in your training regularly, you will see an increase in your swim speed. If you have any more questions, drop them in the comment section below. And if you've enjoyed today's video, give us a like and don't forget to follow GTN.